From Washington, D.C., let's shift our focus to America's friend across the pond, the Great Britain, where the state of affairs is not that great, frankly speaking. More than 47,000 businesses are on the brink of collapse, and the British Prime Minister, Mr. Fix-It, cannot fix it. The UK economy is in the threat of recession. Its Prime Minister vowed to halve inflation and grow the economy, yet data collected in the final 3 months of 2023 shows that there has been a 25% jump in firms facing financial distress. This is the second consecutive quarter-on-quarter period when this has happened. Insolvency specialists released this data in their latest red flag report. It is as ominous as that sounds. More and more firms in London are on the brink of collapse than anywhere else in the country. The construction and property sectors seem to be the most hit, followed by the health and education sector. In 18 out of 22 sectors, there was double-digit growth in financial distress. Means most companies have reached critical condition. It is all thanks to a perfect storm of rising interest, soaring costs and faltering consumer confidence. 2023 was a difficult year for British businesses, and now every corner of the economy is suffering. How did they get here? To understand that, we have to go back to 2021, when the Bank of England raised interest rates from 0.1% to 5.25%. The goal was to tame inflation. That significantly increased cost of borrowing for British businesses. The hundreds of thousands of businesses that loaded up on affordable debt are now coming to terms with the added burden on their finances. Sadly for them, 2024 will be a fight for survival. Last year, the number of firms going bust had already reached the highest level since the great financial crisis of 2008. A big chunk of these firms are now sending the alarm signals. They are the ones expected to collapse over the next year, and this is adding to expectations that a recession in the UK is imminent. The next obvious question is, what is the UK government doing about this? Well, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has set out 5 priorities. 1. Halve inflation. 2. Grow the economy. 3. Reduce debt. 4. Cut waiting lists. 5. Stop the boats. In the first week of this year, he promised, and I'm quoting, "I fully expect to hold my government and I to account on delivering those goals." So I ask you, how has he fared so far? Let's take a look. His government's top priority was halving inflation by the end of 2023. In the 3-month period between October and December 2022, inflation was at 10.7%. So the aim was to reduce inflation to 5.3%. The government actually claimed to have met its target, when the monthly inflation figure for the year to October was 4.6%. But has there been any growth? Latest monthly figures for November show there has been very little growth in 2023. The quarterly figures show the economy grew 0.3% in the first 3 months of 2023. It had zero growth in the next 3 months. Then it shrank 0.1% between July and September. It seems the pledge to grow the economy only has been made more difficult by the UK government's promise to halve inflation. The Bank of England put up interest rates 14 times to stop prices rising so quickly. This reduces spending and slows down economic growth. And let's not forget, the UK government's debt also remains high. The latest figures for December showed that the government debt stood at 97.7% of the size of the economy. Sunak has often been projected as a problem solver. That's how he's been portrayed to the public since he arrived in Downing Street. But with the writing on the wall, Sunak, it seems, faces a bleak economic backdrop in the expected 2024 elections in the United Kingdom. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.